Hello and welcome to another episode of The Living Philosophy. Today I want to talk about something called subjective science. This is something I've been thinking about as opposed to like objective science. So thinking about the experience within the body and what it is like as a subjective thing. So the phenomenological experience and the science of that rather than the objective thing. So looking at humanity through MRIs or X-rays. Now I think there'll be a way to correlate these here maybe, especially with functional MRIs and neuroscience, looking at what's going on in the brain. But what I'm really talking about is, I'm thinking about ideas like meridians or chakras, and we never found those when we dissected the human body. But I do think that there's a level of reality on which they're true. I know that I've experienced different chakras at different times with meditation, or experienced rushes of energy in those places, and I have felt something like chi when I've done Tai Chi in the past. And I don't know whether this is all just, maybe it's a part of me expecting to find that, or whether that's a suggestive thing, but I don't think so. I think that there's certain universal things. Even like I'll give you an example for how I think you could prove this idea of like an energy body. If someone took their hand and they put it right up against your face, you don't feel comfortable with that. Or if someone stands too close to you, even though objectively nothing has happened, objectively there's no crossing of a physical boundary. If your eyes were closed, you surely shouldn't feel that. But to see that, actually I wonder if someone would feel it if they were blindfolded. Would they feel something like that? But to feel the fact that you feel that when someone is around you, I feel like that's a really basic experience of like the energy field being crossed, is some kind of like an aura experience. And it sounds, even though I'm putting it in such plain terms, it sounds kind of crazily mystical or something. I mean, it's such a simple thing when you think about it, the idea of personal space and the idea of people getting up in that space. We've got like common language for that, but it doesn't map over with like the aura language. Maybe it's just too new agey and stuff, or maybe that's just an incorrect map over. But when I think about like what the deep meditators are doing, what the Eastern sages, like the Buddhist monks and the Taoist sages, what they're doing is not it's obviously not science. It's not objective science in the sense of mapping it onto the shared reality, but surely there's a testing of the phenomenological reality. And it's just, I guess, the challenges for a subjective science is that how do you correlate that? Because it's not something shared, and because its belief operates in this sphere, we don't know where one thing ends and another begins. And so that's the challenge of it, and maybe that's why we haven't quite got there yet, because it's the final frontier in some sense, because we have so much influence over what's going on in our inner world, in our minds, and the mind-body connection, that we really still don't know the nature and the topography of the soul. And it's not, we can be so confident with external things, with atoms, with molecules, and with the nature of biology, but it's so hard to get inside the internal experience of the mind, because it's impossible to grasp, because it's something completely different to the material physical. So we found a way to scientifically fully study the material, but the idea of pure psychology, in the sense of the study of the psyche, of the mind, of the soul, that's still such a challenging thing. It's an exciting challenge, but it's hard to figure out how can we create a science that is based on the phenomenological experience. And I just thought I'd share that thought with you today, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, please subscribe if you haven't already, and otherwise I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.